Everybody loves a jolly introduction. Now, some of your lovely feedback this week has been that you're getting some of your other halves, whether it be family or friends or partners or whoever, involved with some of the videos that I've been doing. Maybe they've been thinking about trying Pilates and getting involved with it, but then a bit apprehensive, maybe they don't know what they're going to be getting themselves into. So the theme for this week, and we don't necessarily need to have a theme every week, but I thought what would be quite a nice thing to do this week would be to have some introductory exercises for people. If you know of anybody that has been thinking about Pilates, or even if you think, hey, there's somebody that should be doing it, then let's do a bit of an introductory video of 3 exercises that you can try just to kind of dip your toe in a little bit. So that's going to be today's session. And again, if you like any of these videos, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Let's get cracking. Let's take a butcher's at what you've got. So welcome back everybody. Lovely to see you all again. Let's get you cracking straight away. We're looking for us to lie down onto your front. Now I've chosen this first exercise here because this is really nice for working on your posture, okay? But it's also good because it's not putting any pressure onto your wrists. It's also very good because it's not putting any pressure on your knees. And what we're looking for now is trying to lie you gently down onto your front with the hands and feet at hip distance apart. So with this exercise, we really want to try and focus on lengthening. So fingertips away from the tip of the toes, all right? Now, when we're doing any exercises like this, what I want to try and make sure of is that we're squeezing through your bottom a little bit. Because if you're just kind of melted down into the floor, what you can find is that as soon as you start raising arms and legs, which is what we're going to do in a minute, you'll be over-exaggerating the curve of that lower back. As soon as you squeeze through your bottom, that helps just pull your lower back into a nice strong position so that now we're able to strengthen it. So we're going to keep looking down towards your mat here, okay? We're again still trying to focus on lengthening the top of the head away to the far wall there. So you're not jamming your chin right down into your chest there. Imagine holding just a small piece of fruit just underneath your chin, and we're lengthening up. So you're trying to keep that nice neutral position through your neck, squeezing through your bottom, and as we breathe out, just hovering arm and leg, okay? Reach out. Big deep breath in, and then let's breathe out as we slowly control you back down. Before we swap sides, so again, keep squeezing, opposite arm and leg. Big deep breath in, breathe it out as we gently come back down. Now with this one, we are still going to be doing 2 minutes of this one, all right? So we've hit the timer and off we go. So don't worry about trying to go too quickly through this. If you're ever unsure of how fast to do any exercises here, I would always make sure that you slow the exercises down. We don't want to be using any excess momentum or anything of that nature. We just want to try and get you used to the exercises, get comfortable with it, get confident with it. So just take your time. So again, as you breathe out, we raise off, but again, we're still lengthening away towards that far wall. Deep breath in. Breathe it out as we control slowly back down, all right? And just keep reaching through. So again, this is a really nice way of just working through that posture. So it's really good to help counteract any sitting that we're doing, whether you're doing a lot of driving, typing, anything of that nature. So if you're rounded off in those shoulders or you get any issues with that lower back, this is really good to help strengthen it. Remember, keep your bottom squeezed the whole time. Try not to kind of melt down into the floor here. We are still lengthening out. And then again, as we breathe out, raising off, deep breath in, breathe it out as we slowly control back down. Now, there are different variations of this exercise. You may get the different variations in different Pilates classes, but the reason I wanted to start off with this one is because we're looking at people that maybe haven't done any exercise like this in the past at all. And it's also just quite a nice exercise even if you have, just to sort of, go back to basics, really work on just getting your positioning, lengthening, focus on that breathing up high into your rib cage, controlling slowly through, okay? Keep that bottom squeezed, just hovering just a little bit. Again, we're not looking to arch up as high as you can. You're not raising right up and off of there and really exaggerating that lower back curve. All we're looking for is keeping that bottom squeezed, keep that back safe and lengthen. All right, top of the head away towards the far wall, fingertips away from the toes. Now that concludes our 2 minutes on that one. So we can pause there and gently ease you back up and into a child's pose stretch. And that's quite a nice one just to release out through your back. You just spent a lot of time in extension there, strengthening your back. Now we can release that pressure out a little bit just by coming into child's pose by flexing a little bit. And again, you're still trying to breathe up high into the back of those shoulders, really open those lungs out. And that's the same with any exercise, you're really trying to focus on that breathing and get that going. But at the same time, I would say that, again, especially when you're starting at the beginning, it can be quite easy to forget to breathe. You know, the breathing sometimes can take some practice to get used to. So if you do it and you think, oh, I'm finding really hard to keep up with the breathing and get that in time with the exercise, my main thing would be getting you safe with the exercises first. So getting the technique perfect, getting your form down, and just making sure that you're happy and you're safe with an exercise first, and just breathe how you feel is natural for the time being. But then when you get used to it, then we can start timing the breathing into it a lot more. The worst thing to be doing is trying to time everything, but then end up holding your breath in any exercise you're doing. We don't want to be doing that. So as a general overall rule, unless you hear me say otherwise, always breathe. It's a good long-term strategy, that one. So what we're now going to go into is an ab prep. So this is like an abdominal curl, but what we're looking to try and do here is use some of the 5 Pilates principles. Now, a lot of the exercises obviously utilize these things, but what we're looking for mainly is head and cervical placement. So cervical referring to neck. But also we're looking at pelvis placement, and we're also looking at rib cage placement as well, because we want to make sure that everything is in a nice safe position, your spine's in a neutral position, so that you can then focus on strengthening up through your tummy. Okay, now a couple of things here. We want to start off just with a nice neutral position in that neck. Now we want to make sure that you're not kind of up here with the chin. We don't want to be too far down, right down into the chest either. You want to imagine almost holding a small piece of fruit underneath your chin there, just by the chin and the chest. And there should be the same gap and the same distance when we curl up in a minute. That should stay the same, all right? So what we're going to be looking for here is just making sure that you're not tensing up in the head, the neck and the shoulders, all right? So we're going to keep those arms and the shoulders back and down. And neutral position in your lower back here is when you've got a slight curve in that lower back. Imprinted is when we're down flat on the floor and you've shortened the obliques here and just reduced that curve a little bit. But we want to be in a neutral position because our feet are staying down. So you should be able to get the palm of your hand with it flat, just underneath your lower back there like that. If you can get your whole fist under there, then you've gone way too far over and you're overarching it, okay? Another good way to think about this here is having the heel of your hands into your hip bones, making a diamond shape with your hands and just placing the fingertips down onto your pelvis at the front there, and then rocking backwards and forwards until we get that diamond shape nice and flat with the floor, okay? That's what we're ending up with at the end, and we should have a nice rib position here, nice lumbar curve here, and making sure that we keep that as we go through the exercise, okay? So the arms are down to your sides, all right? Again, shoulders are back and down. Now imagining that on the ceiling, you've got a traffic light. The red light is shining directly down onto your face here. As we take a deep breath in, we're tilting the chin ever so slightly so you're looking towards the green light. That just takes pressure off of the neck. Then keeping the tummy screwed in towards the floor, but without changing that lower back position. As we breathe out, we're gently hovering up, but we're initiating it from the tummy here. Okay, now you're going to look towards the kneecaps at the top, shoulders are back and down, deep breath in, and then let's breathe out as we curl back down, each vertebra at a time, down through the spine. Okay, so that's the movement, and again, 2 minutes is what we're looking for, all right? Now again, we want to try and make sure that we're not initiating this from the neck. We're not lifting up here and then trying to pull up from that position there. We're trying to get the rib cage, the bottom of the rib cage here, down towards your pelvis. So we're trying to tilt the chin so your pressure's taken off your neck, but then lifting from here to help gently curl you up, okay? And again, shoulders are back and down. Keep that neutral position here. Deep breath in. Breathe it out as we gently control back down. You can always have a block underneath your head here if you find that your chin is a little bit too far up, or you can't get your head down, or you're too much out of position there. We want to try and imagine having the chin and also the forehead in alignment, or even just slightly underneath, okay? But again, we're not looking to get any pressure and tension up there. It's quite hard to get used to pulling from the core here to get you to lift up. All right, again, you can use the hands. You can use one hand at a time. If you feel like you are tensing up in the neck, you can do one arm at a time there, or you can go with both arms. It's particularly good if you've got any neck or sort of shoulder problems there. But my main thing with that one would be that you're not pulling the entire upper body off with the hands. You're not yanking yourself up from the hands there. That's not what we're after, because you're gonna put a lot of pressure onto the neck. Use the core here and make sure that the hands are just there to support that neck. So again, your slight tilt, slight head nod, and lifting gently up. Big deep breath in, try and keep those elbows nice and open, and then breathe it out as we gently control down and through. All right, but if you can, let's try and just have the arms down to the side. All right, shoulders back and down. Breathe it out as we slowly control back down. So this is a really good way of working through those abdominals, okay? But remember, don't lose that lower back curve. And you're already probably thinking like, wow, there's a lot to remember with Pilates exercises like this. That's our 2 minutes, so we can stop there. And that is the thing, a lot of exercises, there is a lot to think about. There's a lot going on under the surface. And again, I don't expect any of you to be experts straight away. So don't worry if you're finding some of it difficult or a bit challenging. That's where the practice element comes in. So again, don't beat yourself up about it. Just do what we can. Get used to the technique of the exercises first so we can get you nice and safe. All right, so we've worked posture, we've worked a little bit of tummy at the front here, and that also links into head placement, hip placement. What we're now going to go for is just a little bit of mobility work as well. Now, this is a particularly favorite one of mine, and what we're looking for at this one now is starting by walking the feet in. So the previous exercise there, we had the feet at hip distance apart. With this one, we want to have the feet and knees together. We're having the arms out, level with the shoulders to the sides, okay? And the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And from that position, we want to try and keep the shoulders back and down, but the shoulder blades are pinned to the ground. We're not letting them lift. Now we take a big deep breath in, breathing up high into that rib cage. And then as we breathe out, we're just turning the legs down towards one side. Now, just before you reach the floor with the knees there, we're going to take a deep breath in, and then let's breathe out as we bring you across, over and down. And that's the whole thing, okay? Try not to rest your knees down, because otherwise, as soon as you are, you're not doing anything. And you also may find that other shoulder wants to lift up and off. So we want to just go to where we can maintain it and just get a nice strong position and just work through that core. So this is good for the stretching, but it's also good for the strengthening as well. So as we breathe out, we gently lower you down. Big deep breath in at the side, high up into the ribs. Breathe it out as we come across. We want to be in a neutral position when you're coming across, all right? So we're not letting your lower back flatten off. Take a deep breath in, breathe it out as we gently come across. So again, should still have that nice lumbar curve in that lower back there. And we just want to try and ease our way through. Now this is quite a nice one for if you do have a bit of a stiff back. You might get the odd bit of clicking going on as you realign, and that's not a problem. But what we're after now is just easing our way through. We're not forcing, we're not trying to jam our spine in or anything like that, or force the legs down. We're just going to wherever we can. So don't worry if you can't reach down as far as, you know, being right near the floor there. Even if you're just coming across just a few inches and you feel a bit stiff there and you want to stop, that's fine. Just go to wherever you can, all right? But again, we take a big deep breath in at the side, breathe it out. So we gently then come across, deep breath in, breathe it out. Now there are other ways to make this a lot harder, but at the moment, for all I'm looking to try and achieve here is just going nice and steadily with this level. So the basic level one, and just going carefully with it. All right. And hopefully after doing these exercises, you'll feel like, okay, there is a bit of a challenge there, but it's not daunting. It's not a scary thing. And, you know, with all of my classes, you know, I always try and make sure that we're doing lots of different levels of things. So Anybody that's brand new to the class will feel like, yeah, we can get a good workout from it. But then there are people that have had the misfortune of coming to my classes for several years. And, you know, I need to make sure that they're also working at a bit of a challenging level as well. So we want to work within your capabilities, but we do want to push you, okay? So that is sort of my target throughout all of my classes. That's our final exercise there, our timing done. So again, give that one a go and see how you find those exercises. It's a good way just to get started and just find that, you know, it's not too daunting. Get yourself involved in a class, whether it be one of mine or someone else's. Let me know how you find all of that, and hopefully see you all next week.